soft reboot always works.
Got to hit this button here. What's up, Roddy?
Kate said, hey, how you doing, Hank? How you doing? You ready to?
Well, you know, the issue is, you know, you can't go and do what we did and not expect to not get sick, right?
Yeah, and you were out in the freezing, frigid cold.
Yeah, so I mean, it is what it is. But at the end of the day, now I got this cold. I've been, dealing with it today. It sounds like a bunch of whining. She's saying it sounds like a bunch of whining over there. All right, so let's go ahead and share this over here. I think we're live. Yeah, we should be live. I'm going to share this over here.
We are live.
Hit this button here. Anyway, so I put on the old Facebook.
Mm-hmm.
You know, how do you? I need to shock the cold and get rid of it before game day, before this weekend, right?
Yeah, you do.
So I got like 45 responses to that.
You got quite a few.
So the question is like, what do we do? Huh? Who else did you get a response from? My mom.
Sure.
My mom was like texting and calling me immediately. What's wrong?
Check.
There
I am.
Let's share this over here.
I'm back. Check. Sounds
okay.
good.
Let's share.
Share.
I'm sharing now.
I've already shared.
Anyway, so the point is that I've got balloon head, so I've taken a bunch of stuff and
you got the foggy brain syndrome.
I've tried lemon stuff and teas today and honey and lozenges and all this other stuff today.
I think.
Okay. So we're
How about bourbon and honey?
There was bourbon. It was someone said brandy and honey.
Yeah,
right,
brandy, not bourbon. Sorry.
All right, so
put onions in your socks.
Point being, Moon Man, you good to go?
Moon Man, you ready to do
2
show?
seconds. He's saying 2 seconds back there.
You're good.
You good to go?
He's good to go. He says.
Hey, let's do a show.
Let's do a show.
All right.
We've got a great show tonight. Ladies and gentlemen. 3, 3, 0. 3, 3, 0. 3, 3, 3.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to 330 to Go. I'm your host, Hank Forrester, coming to you live from Stakeout Studios overlooking the rolling plains of Hardesty Park. In tonight's episode, we're going to debrief the Browns' perfect season parade. We're going to touch on health and fitness, and we're also going to debrief the college football season. But before we do that, we're once again joined by the golden tones of Roddy Voorhees.
How you doing, Hank?
Living the dream, Roddy.
It's hump day.
It is hump day.
It's hump day. Tonight's episode is brought to us by Safe Dryer. Peace of mind is just a phone call away. Dryer vents blow hard unless they're clogged. Blockage is never good.
No.
Not having good airflow results in poor efficiency and potential risk of fire. Please find Safe Dryer on Facebook or give them a call today, 330-510-1256. Safe Dryer. Folks, get those dryer vents checked.
It's important, and people have a tendency to overlook it, so we're asking you not to, right? So, Roddy.
Yeah.
The parade.
Dude, you guys had some fun.
We did, and it, obviously none of this was pre-planned, right? We weren't. Tonight was supposed to be our kickoff show for 2018.
It was.
And all that got just kind of thrown to the wind because we had to do emergency coverage. I mean, it's, we're hoping that's a once-in-a-lifetime experience.
We had to, yeah. There was no. You couldn't not do that.
We couldn't not do it, especially after having McNeil on our show last week, the parade organizer,
and Bone Lady,
and the crazy skeleton guy, right?
Yeah. Can we make? Hey, Moon Man, can you make sure the doors locked, please?
Someone make sure the doors are locked.
We don't need that again this week. Although Galley Boys, we'll see.
Yeah, Galley Boys were good. So if you want to bring us Galley Boys, we're always happy to give you your time for that.
Woo!
So,
absolutely.
Folks, now back to the parade, right? So we went up there. We didn't know what to expect.
Well, hold on. I think you guys need to be congratulated. Number one. It was cold.
It was. You have no idea.
It was. No, I got to watch from the comfort of my own home.
You have no idea.
On my phone, and yeah, you and Moon Man. My hat's off to you both for braving the cold.
Well, and not just that, but we're lifelong Browns fans, and we've all tailgated before.
Oh, absolutely.
So we're used
Muni lot all day.
used to be in the Muni lot. We're used to being down there. I got to tell you, it was intense. There's one point where if you're watching the footage, I pull my hand out of my glove, and my hand in about 10 to 15 seconds it freezes, and I can't get it back in my glove.
No, I did see
it. Was ridiculous, right? So the thing about the parade, right? And people, it was such a unique experience. It was a once in a lifetime experience for those of us that were there. And I will tell you now, a lot of the backlash immediately came from Browns players, and I'm going to say right off the rip, we experienced no hostility toward any Browns players. Moonman, would you agree with that? It was 100% geared toward Hugh and toward Jimmy. Everything was geared toward management and coaching. I didn't see anything negative toward any of the players. No. We didn't even see a sign. I think we saw one sign that says something about Kaiser.
I think the players felt the need to say something. I mean, I think I know what you're talking about. Emmanuel Ogbah tweeted.
Yeah.
And then Danny Shelton tweeted.
And Kirksey.
And Kirksey tweeted. I can understand their frustration. They're mad. They thought that this parade was poking them, and it wasn't really.
Not intentionally.
It was poking the ownership and the head coach of the Cleveland Browns.
Right. And the thing, okay, so the thing about that, right, even with everything, and folks, I apologize once again. I'm dealing with an illness. I'm going to be coughing and clearing my throat a lot tonight.
So I'm going to talk more. Hank's not.
All right, so point. Yeah, right. We'll go with that one.
Yeah.
So
it was worth a shot.
Point being, everybody down there was in great spirits. It was really amazing. It was like a tailgate, and people even said on their way out, that was the most fun they've had at Brown Stadium in 20 years.
I heard that was the most fun had at Brown Stadium, and at least in Cleveland in 2 years since the Cavs won the title. That was the second happiest moment in Cleveland.
Just to give you an idea of how cold it was, okay? When we were at Muni Lot, if you haven't seen the videos, we did the parade coverage and all the interviews of the parade floats and all that. But before that, we actually went and we explored the Muni Lot itself. So look up that video on our timeline, and it was ridiculously cold. It was out in the Muni Lot, and there were only about, I'd say, wouldn't you say, like 50 to 60 cars out there?
Yeah, that's low for the Muni Lot.
Right. So it was just diehard.
I heard it was low towards the end of the season like that, too.
Yeah.
So it was probably about the same
amount
of fans.
Okay. Point being, there were still 2 or 3 of the big tailgate rigs, and they were having their typical party with the music going and everything, right? And the interesting part there was, I go up to one guy, right? They got a keg up in the bus.
Yep.
And the dude pours a beer. He says, I now have 5 minutes. He's like, I got 3 minutes to drink this beer before it turns into a slush. And then from the point it turns into a slush, I then have 2 minutes before it's frozen. And I literally could see people standing right around the bus, and they were all in different phases of beer. So you had the one guy. The one guy goes, "It like the beer's upside down and it's totally frozen." So I mean, it was that cold, right?
Yeah, it was a little cold.
But as far as the parade itself, inside the parade, it was epically funny and clever. It was Cleveland fan wit put on display for all the country to see, and it was good.
Instead of people laughing at us, we were laughing with each other.
It was good. It was good,
and having a good time.
My favorite takeaways were one was the cake, the Eat Me cake from Animal House. The guy had built a cake. It was awesome. And then what was the other one? There was a dumpster. The guy had rented a trash truck, and he painted the dumpster.
And he called it Dumpster.
It was Dumpster 2.0 and 0-16 parade. He every time he's going by everybody, he's going, I'm guaranteeing you right now, there's no Pilot J fuel in this truck.
Wow.
It was unbelievable.
Wow.
So those were best of show for me.
I truly enjoyed the toilet paper cannon.
Yes, you saw that.
That Wins Zero had.
Wins Zero had the TP can. We got that video up.
And then the toilet float.
The toilet float. That was his float. That was his float.
That was great,
so
in my opinion.
And we got to meet the guys from Orange and Orange. Chase was actually walking around interviewing people. We had about a 2 or 3 minute exchange with him, so we ran into Chase.
Yep.
And a note to Jeremy, Jeremy's friend of the show. Jeremy, again, those two guys run the Orange is Oranger podcast for the Browns. Jeremy, he did mention on Facebook and on Twitter that he did lose his dog just the last couple of days.
Hey, Jeremy, we love you, brother. You're in our thoughts and prayers,
about that.
man.
Sorry about that, Jeremy. But
we'll see you soon.
It was nice meeting those guys, right?
Very cool.
But the thing, all tip of the hat to Chris McNeil, the parade organizer, and the guys who helped him. All right.
I heard there were no major issues. There wasn't a shortage of porta potties or anything like that.
Not like the Cavs parade, but there weren't 3 million people. There were there were about 3,000 or 4,000.
But I heard he did a wonderful job playing.
And that's the thing. I'll debate that too. There were people that were heckling me saying that there were only 2,000 people at the parade, and I will say that's 100% false.
From the footage that I've seen, there was a lot.
I'm saying somewhere between 3,000 to 5,000, somewhere in that range.
Yeah, there was a lot.
You know, we got to see that firsthand.
Had the weather been warmer, I bet more people would have shown up.
ESPN has changed their tune, and they went ahead and they gave Chris McNeil props. So, you know, good job to all the people that organized it for it going off without a hitch, and especially what they did for the Cleveland Food Bank. And to me, that's when it really changed, when I got to see the tent, the donation tent.
Yeah, there was so much.
There's food lining up to the ceiling, and people are like lined up down the block, and it was nonstop.
Yeah,
bags of canned goods being donated.
And for those that didn't donate food, they donated money.
That's right.
Yeah, that. Hats off. I hope the Cleveland Food Bank is.
But I want to go back to the whole idea of the concept of a fan. Okay, and this is where I think some of the Cleveland, and again, if you're watching us now, go ahead and share this, especially if you know any of the Browns players.
Yeah.
I heard that Mike Pruitt was going to be tuning in tonight. Anybody that's a part of the Browns organization previously or current, go ahead and share this now, because this message is to the players. Okay, the current players right now on our roster may or may not understand what it's like to be a Cleveland fan, specifically in relation to the history. Okay,
correct. Yeah.
When I was growing up, and this was of course during our golden years and in my age during the 80s. So you know, Bernie's quarterback.
Yeah.
And you know, we've had a chance to go to the Super Bowl. It was thwarted twice by the Broncos.
Yeah.
But the issue there is
fumble in the drive. Yeah.
Us kids growing up in that time period, we would get done with school, we would go home, get changed, and we would go meet out at the Triangle out by St. Sebastian's. And as soon as we got there, we would start claiming who we were. People would say, "I'm Bernie. I'm Webster. I'm Reggie. I'm Reggie Langhorne. I'm Brian Brennan." That was being a fan. You would go on Sunday morning, you would go to church, you would go home. We had about, 20 channels to choose from, because we had our antennas or our rabbit ears.
You had 20?
I think it was like 15.
You might be overshooting.
Yeah, 20. No,
6. Moon Man, thank you. Yeah, I think you had 6.
20 was if I counted like channel 23.
Was TV?
6,
wait.
No. Channel 61,
Hold on.
channel 67. Yeah,
I have a question.
Right. But no, the other ones you could get real faint if you had to tweak everything, and 61 came in and 67.
Hank, I have a question.
Yeah, what's up?
Was the TV in color?
The TV was in color.
Okay, I had to ask. I
see Annette's tuned in, friend of the show. I see Rick's tuned in, friend of the show.
What's up, guys?
So the point is, being a fan, that's what you did. Sunday morning, you went to church, you came, you went to eat lunch, or you ate lunch, and then around the TV, you sat together and you watched the Browns.
You watched the Browns game.
Okay.
Yep.
So then around that time, right?
Back then they were fun to watch.
They were fun to watch. Now here's the part that everybody forgets.
Yeah.
The early 90s are where all of this kind of comes together. And whenever we talk about this, we either talk about right now the misery that we're in, the pit of misery,
dilly,
or we talk about the 80s and the golden era, or we talk about Jim Brown's era, right?
Yeah.
Nobody ever focuses on the 90s, and to me, that is the most critical part of the Browns' history to talk about in regards to what we're dealing with right now.
How about Brian Sipe?
Brian Sipe, Cardiac Kids. Okay,
yeah. Cardiac Kids.
Annette is just a year or two older than us, just a year or two.
No, she's 21.
She is 21, but
Annette is 21.
Yeah, she maintains 21. The point is,
we love Annette.
She was there with the Brian Sipe and the Cardiac Kids. She's gonna smack me.
I said she's 21. I played the game. I'm good.
When she sees me this weekend, she's gonna smack me in the head.
Yes, he did.
All right, so
Annette, remember who your friend is.
The point is, the early 90s, everybody kind of leaves that part out of the story, and to me, that's the most important part of the story. And I want to try and get that done in the next 5 minutes or so. Okay, because I want to get to the health and fitness part.
I'm watching the clock.
All right, so we go for Marty Schottenheimer, right? And we've got the golden years with Kosar,
yep.
And then as Kosar starts to get older, we enter into the early 90s. Okay,
yep.
At that point, Schottenheimer and the Browns come to an agreement. Schottenheimer's going to go elsewhere. At which time we hire a coach by the name of,
I think that was his name's on the tip of my tongue. I think it was Bill Belichick. How's he doing?
How's he doing? He brings in his assistant by the name of.
Nick Saban.
Nick Saban.
Nick
So
Saban.
Bill Belichick and Nick Saban are hired in
Yep.
1990
Yep.
to take over for Marty Schottenheimer.
Yep.
Now, folks,
I do love Marty Schottenheimer.
over the next 5 years, obviously there's significant history there, and it's important to understand that. And this is the part that everybody kind of omits from the Cleveland story, all right? So in 91, Kosar gets hurt, but that's the breakout year of Leroy Horde.
Oh, I remember Leroy Horde.
Everybody
He had
remembers Leroy
the
Horde.
big neck. He had the big neck thing sticking out of the
Yes,
back.
okay.
Oh, I love that.
Lots of people love Leroy Horde. So the point is,
He didn't have the neck roll?
Tommy
Was it?
Vardell. Right? So around that
touchdown, Tommy.
So the point is, Kosar gets hurt, and in the meantime, they go 6-10 that year.
Yep.
That's in 91. That's in Belichick's first year coaching
Yep.
with Saban as his assistant. Okay, so then the following year, Kosar gets hurt again in
Mhm.
92. At that point, they were almost a playoff team, but they were struggling to get over the top. Right.
Yep.
So Mike Tomczak takes his place as quarterback, and they end up finishing
Mike
7-9, and they're just out of the playoffs. This is
Okay.
92.
Okay.
The following year, Bill Belichick creates the Patriots. He cuts Bernie Kosar.
That's still a day I don't want to talk about.
And that's why, because Cleveland media
I love Bernie.
crucified Bill Belichick because the beloved Bernie
He
is
was
being
our
cut.
hometown hero.
He's our
He
hometown
was-
hero. But he is at the end of his career
He was.
or near the end of his
He
career.
was slowly
He's
going
injury
downhill.
prone. Year in and year out, he can't make a full season in terms of all the games.
But what happens when he got cut?
He gets cut. He signs with the Dallas Cowboys. He
And
then
he-
plays for Troy Aikman, and then the two of them go and they win a Super Bowl that year. While that's going on, come back to Cleveland. We've got Vinny Testaverde
Mhm.
gets hurt, and then Todd Philcox takes his place, and we end up finishing 7-9 that year.
Again.
Right? So, in other words, the birth of Patriot football took place in 1993, and that was Bill Belichick.
I can agree with what you're
Bill
saying. so far.
Belichick, and he was using the thought process. I'm not going to pay an aging quarterback an inflated salary when I can move on and I can use younger
and
players
build for the future.
at secondary contracts, build for the future, and get more production.
Yep.
And that became the Patriot way.
Yeah.
That happened in
You are
1993.
correct.
The following year,
Yep.
Testaverde, quarterback the whole season.
Yep.
That was you'll remember this defense. It was Michael Dean Perry.
Yep.
It was Eric Turner.
It was Carl Banks. It was Pepper Johnson. It was Frank Minifield.
Mm-hmm. They finished.
Antonio Langham.
They finished 11 and
You
5.
forgot my favorite player, although he was on what?
I
We
said
did say
Eric Turner. Yep.
My favorite player played for the Browns.
Who's that?
That was the man, Eric Metcalf.
Okay, so we got
2
Metcalf.
punt returns against the Steelers in '94. Thank you.
Ice Cube, right? It was Ice Cube.
2 punt returns.
Was Ice Cube McNeil or Metcalf? No, McNeil was Ice Cube. Gerald McNeil. was the
Gerald
Ice Cube.
Ice Cube McNeil.
Yeah,
yes.
that's right. Okay. All right. So the point is, guys,
Eric Metcalf. I love you, brother.
we made the playoffs in '94 with Testaverde, and then we lost to the Steelers. And that was basically the end of Cleveland football. That was the year we beat the Giants. We beat the Giants and lost to the Steelers.
Because we
Okay?
finished 11-5 that year.
So hold on, guys. So in the
Yeah, we won a
background,
playoff game.
in the background of all of this, while all that's taking place,
Yeah.
Gateway's being built. So the city has agreed with
Yeah.
Gordon Gunn and Dick Jacobs to build a new stadium facility to renovate downtown Cleveland.
Correct.
And that's Gateway. So they're building, the Gund Arena is already built, and now they're building the Jake, which opened in '94,
It did.
and the city helped to foot that bill. Okay?
Yep.
So while all that's going on in the background of this whole Browns team that's,
You're gonna-
potentially
I
a
have
playoff team,
I have a feeling you're going to say a dirty name here. in a minute.
Mr. Art Modell is petitioning
Moon Man,
the city.
please remove his name from this
Mr.
podcast.
Art Modell is petitioning the
Just
city.
Bleep
He is-
it out.
Now
something.
listen, he is
I'm
being
listening.
interviewed in the stadium, and while he's being interviewed as a millionaire, he's got water dripping on his head.
Correct.
And he says, "This is where we are at. If I don't get another stadium, if the city doesn't help me, I can't deal with this anymore because fans and players will no longer
Well,
come to the stadium."
that stadium was so run down. It needed so much renovation, so much.
So all that's taking place all at the same time in that early 90s. It's
Yep.
all happening in this swirl. And as a result, so Modell goes and he has a backroom deal with the Baltimore Ravens. At the same time,
Yeah,
the city
please,
says
please remove that name, those 2 words from the podcast.
at the
Thanks.
same time, the city says, okay, fine. We're going to try and help you out as best we can, but we're going to put it up to the voters, and they put it on the ballot.
Yep.
On November 6th, 1995, Art Modell signed the paperwork to move the Browns to Baltimore. On November 7th,
the voters approved
1995,
The voters
of
approved the
Cleveland
renovation.
approved the renovation to the stadium. Okay?
Always
this
a
is
day
all
late.
part of that misery, folks. So now that's what it means to be that Cleveland fan. You have to understand that history, and you have to understand that joining period between the old and the new. And what we have is, and again, that's why this skeleton guy, this skeleton guy's a weirdo, man. He keeps showing up all over the place.
I hate to say it, I am constantly looking out your window.
And
I
now
want to make sure he doesn't show up again.
The thing about him is he ended up, he found all these guys that were wearing skeleton costumes at the parade. Now, I don't know if he organized that or what, because we found skeleton people all over the place. So there's that story, and that's this whole other thing, right? But the point is, guys, what happened on top of that, to make matters worse, in 1995, the Jaguars and the Panthers became expansion teams in the NFL. Their rules at the time, they were given the first pick and the second pick of the draft, and then before the next round occurred, they were also given additional picks. Okay?
Yep.
So they got pick 1, pick 2, which they ended up trading and moving around, so they ended up picking like 2 and 5, I think is what it was. Then they got 2 picks, and then the second round took place, and then 2 more picks, and then the third round took place. Okay, and when I say 2,
so
that means
they were
them,
pretty much getting 2 picks around.
In other words, they're getting 2 picks around. Okay, what happened was both teams made the playoffs
in '96,
not their inaugural year,
nope,
but their second year. And the NFL said, "Wait a second, these teams are expansion teams. They should not be this competitive this quickly."
They both made their respective championship conference football games and lost, but both games, if I remember correctly, were extremely close. I was pulling for both of them.
So because of that, in 1999, when the Cleveland Browns name was brought back.
The name was brought back.
The name was brought back, while at the same time
our
Browns were out winning
the Super Bowl.
The Super Bowl. And our previous coach was over winning the Super Bowl with New England. Okay. While all that's going on, we had the rules changed on us when our team, as an expansion team with its name, drafted. They took away
double pick.
They took away the double pick in the first round.
Yep.
And they took away the double pick back-to-back in between rounds, and they gave them the 15th pick of each round instead. Go ahead and look it up, guys. They changed the rules in the Browns. So as a result, when we initially drafted as an expansion team, we were set up for failure from day one. And the reason we've continued to fail is because nobody has given any regime a long enough time to stay with it and to see it through.
It's a 2-year at most, maybe 3, and let's start over.
So, folks, we're putting this to bed. We're done with the Browns for a very long time. So everybody hit your like button right now. We're putting the Browns to bed, and we're not going to talk about them until the week of the draft. This flag is going away. We're going to replace that with a winning franchise.
Bye.
Kate's
waving. Bye, flag.
Kate's been over there going, get that thing out of my house.
See ya.
So we're gonna replace that, and we're moving on to topic number 2.
Topic number 2.
So here we go, folks. Go ahead and share. Tune in now. We're going to start discussing health and fitness in 2018.
Yeah.
This is a massive topic.
This is a good thing. This is something wonderful to talk about.
So when we initially had this idea, when the idea was we were going to come up with, I think I just put a post out and I said, hey guys, what do you do to work out to lose weight?
Yeah. What are good tips to lose weight?
And
eat right.
It just went.
Our world got rocked.
Where's my boom? Moon Man, where's my
boom?
Moon
Man. Hey, we need a boom.
Yeah,
hey,
boom.
Thank you.
It just exploded on us, right? So we're going to brainstorm with you guys right now, okay? So go, again, share this with everybody you know. Say they're talking fitness now. They're talking health foods. Go and share it right now.
We're gonna nibble. We're gonna nibble.
And this is for 330. Okay, so we're not talking areas up in Cleveland. We're not talking areas down by Cincinnati, because I know we got listeners that tune in there. We got friends and listeners that tune in from Texas now, and Florida and California. I hope all you guys are doing well. Hopefully you didn't have to deal with 2 degrees like we just did for the last week and a half. So here we go, guys. We're talking general fitness. General fitness and health. But the thing is, people are very passionate about what they do.
Yeah.
They're very passionate about what they do. Okay, so we've already got one that I don't even think, did I have that on
You can't repeat that.
I didn't have that on the list. I didn't even
No, that's not on the list. Well, you know what? It might now be a thing.
I can't say that.
No, you can't say that. I had to do a double take.
No, let me read that. Am I reading it right?
Ricky?
No.
Ricky?
If there's a
Ricky?
Shoot. All right, so P90X. I think that's a typo.
P90X. I think it was a slight typo.
All right.
Slight typo.
Let me add that to P90X.
I forgot about P90X.
I didn't even include that. All right, so guys, so here we go. This is just our brainstorm. So we need your help. We're brainstorming topics.
Jeez.
It's going to split into 3 different areas, right? So we got places, diets, and methods, okay? So places are places where you go to work out. Diets are whatever you do to diet, and then methods are...
My favorite diet isn't on the list.
Methods are what you do to train. How you train, right?
My diet is not on here.
Which is your diet?
My diet is the seafood diet.
Seafood.
When I see food, I eat it.
Okay, I'll add that seafood.
Yeah.
All right. I'm not. Hold on. I'm getting reprimanded.
Healthy eating,
all right,
folks.
So
healthy
eating.
eating.
We're not. I'm gonna get kickback from nutrition people and diet people. What?
Whoa.
It is a thing?
It's a thing.
Oh, we're not promoting it. So
I stand corrected. I retract my call out.
But hey, honestly,
I apologize.
We will be looking that up after the show. All right,
yeah,
so
when we go off air, we're looking that up. The more you know. Exactly.
So the point is, I'm getting corrected by Kate. What do you want me to call it? Do not call it a diet.
Yeah, diets are.
Call it healthy eating.
It's a lifestyle
change. Nutrition. Okay. So all right. So we're not calling. DIE. People will point out that the first 3 letters of the word diet are DIE. Okay.
We'll call it a lifestyle change.
Lifestyle change. All right. So here we go.
All right.
We're brainstorming right now. You know what? I'm going to be quiet. Do you have the list? You got the list?
I got.
You got the list. Let me go. You're on the page. So you talk.
On the right page.
You talk about places. Do you know where they're all at?
Not a chance in this world. Does it look like I work out?
You talk. Let me get some water.
Look at me.
Let me get some water. You talk, and then I'll fill in.
So the places we have listed is the Personalized Wellness Center, Revitalize Medical Group, Curves, CrossFit Boxes, Evolve, Orange Theory, LA Fitness, Planet Fitness, YMCA, the JCC, the Falls Natatorium, 9 Rounds, Mixed Martial Arts.
All right, so those are the places that were listed.
I just got a hand.
We got what? We got a
Moon
hand.
Man is scribbling. Devoted Strength and Fitness.
Devoted Strength and Fitness.
That has been added to the list.
Devoted Strength and Fitness. All right, so folks.
DFS. DFS.
Okay. And again, folks, feel free to brainstorm. So we had JCC. I see Rick mentioned JCC. All right, so let's talk about where these are all located. And again, what we're going to do, we're going to share these fitness places with you. And then we're gonna need your help because it's just too big a topic. So next week we're gonna come back and we're gonna try and price these all out.
Whoa,
that's a method. That's a method, Mama Sue. All right, so Personalized Wellness Center, I believe, is down in the Valley, and I believe
you're right. I've seen it.
Chris Dunn, who is one of our watchers and commenters, he works out down there, so he brought that place up. Revitalized Medical Group, they do that what's called that hormone therapy. That's where it's not necessarily working out. It's more getting in line with it's more of a metabolism adjustment. Okay,
so like yoga.
It's totally about body balance and dealing with
body balance
with
is
nutrition.
A good thing.
Curves is for
you see.
Now it's my mom goes to Curves, and I asked her about it. I said, "Is it just?" And I didn't mean to sound mean, but I said, is it just for older folks? Because I know my mother-in-law and my mom both go to Curves, but from my understanding, Curves is just for women. Okay.
Yep.
And that's why it has a tendency to be a more mature crowd.
Okay.
And I'm not read into that what you want, but so there's that. Okay. Yeah, so we'll talk about curves next time. So then CrossFit boxes, we got CrossFit boxes all over the place. And
shout out to all you CrossFitters.
yeah, there's a lot of CrossFitters.
We know who you are.
Oh my goodness, we got so many
It would take us at least an hour to name everybody.
Yeah, we got so many friends that are CrossFit participants, and then of course we know a bunch of the box owners as well.
Correct.
So we're going to try and give them all equal play next week. And I've got the actual list of the hot list and some others of the places we know around town here. Evolve is over in Medina. They have a workout strategy that they use.
Okay.
Orange Theory I think is a national company, but they have one. They are a franchise. Orange Theory. Orange here is owned by somebody locally who lives in Hardison Park. They live in Hardison. It's okay. So our Big D over here, our
Big D,
our call screener, is mentioned that, and I know of a couple friends that are Facebook friends of ours that also work at this Orange Theory right here. The Orange Theory in Akron, folks, is located. It's right in the plaza with Piata and with Whole Foods that we've been pubbing. By the way, it's now official. Fresh Poke.
What?
What? Oh, Poke. Is it Poke Fresh? What? Huh?
Poke A.
Fresh Poke. Poke. I'm just
wow.
I thought it was the Fresh Poke.
Should we shout out our guest?
We do have a studio guest here. Ed's here tonight, and we'll talk about him in probably a couple episodes. But Ed is here with Diners Republic, and he's checking us out tonight to make sure that we're legit.
He's correcting you, which is good.
It's Fresh
Poke.
Poke. It's Poke.
Poke.
What's it stand for?
It's basically deconstructed sushi.
Deconstructed sushi or fish. Okay, so Poke. That makes sense because when I did the picture, I announced it on 3-Throw Breaking News about 2 or 3 weeks ago, right before Christmas. It was Christmas Eve. And someone goes, does this say fresh puke?
Oh.
This side,
no.
All right.
No,
so
no,
it's
no.
All right, so it's sushi, right? Some kind of fish.
Okay, cool.
All right. Big Hawaiian thing. So that's now, right, point being, it's Orange Theory's right there, right? And again, we're going to go over all the pricing structures with you guys next week. But then we got LA Fitness, that's local in town. We got Planet Fitness, that's local in town. We got the YMCA. I know Angela, a friend of show. She actually goes swimming there regularly for her workout at the YMCA.
Nice.
So I don't know which one that is. What? Oh, it's a cat. I thought it was somebody else.
I thought it was skeleton, man. I got a little nervous. Got a little scared there.
Someone had mentioned the JCC. Okay, that's located right over in White Pond there.
Yep.
And by the way, that's where the Revitalized Medical Group is in that parking lot. Those complexes right back behind the JCC.
Yeah.
Falls Natatorium. A lot of people go to the Nat. Ouch,
the Nat.
And then 9 rounds. I saw someone, one of the guys put up, a friend of ours. It's out in Copley, and it's like a boxing joint with coaches. Huh. So you go like from 9 rounds, like you did go. All right, so we got a caller calling in.
We got a call.
Oh no, you take that one, Kate. Thank you. All right, so
we'll see if they're worthy of on-air time.
Point is, how do you do it? It's speed bag?
Yeah.
Heavy bag?
It's like, there's a little bit of everything. So there's actually like speed classes.
Okay.
And they do high and low and kicks. And
okay.
Stuff. It's intense. It whipped my butt.
And we'll talk about that more in detail next week once we get pricing for you guys.
At all.
And then the mixed martial arts are all over the place. And then devoted strength and fitness. Okay, so those are the places. And then we're not going to call it diets. We're going to call it healthy eating.
Lifestyle changes.
Healthy eating.
Healthy eating.
Okay.
I can go with that.
So
what? Lifestyle management. I like
there you go, Ed. You're hired.
Ed,
all right,
so we're gonna call it that.
So all right, so here we go. This is our list of healthy eating or lifestyle management choices.
Oh, just a lot of peanut butter.
You want me to go through? Oh,
yeah.
I guess I'm reading the list. He just stops talking altogether. Wow, dead air, silence.
I need my water, man.
Yeah,
need my water.
You're dying over there. Got it. So we've got we have Weight Watchers, Advocare, Nutrisystem, Shakeology, It Works, the Paleo Diet, South Beach Diet, Ketogenic, the Atkins, Zone Diet, Vegetarian, Vegan, Raw Food, Mediterranean, and I believe it's Whole 30.
Yeah,
Whole 30. We neglected to add that to the list.
And then she's adding, what's it? Arbonne.
Arbonne. Intermittent.
No. That's down below.
That's a
That's
method.
a method.
That's a
Okay,
method.
That's a method.
No, I do Arbonne. It's a nutrition thing.
Arbonne?
Yeah. There's
Okay.
protein shakes and
They do shakes and stuff.
It's only dropped from the ground. It's in a
What?
tree, but you can't pluck it. You have to eat it like from the ground.
I have no idea.
Can we go? Can we,
That's part of being
can we
vegan.
Google that, please?
Isn't that
Oh,
part of being vegan?
what are you showing me?
Mm.
This is like
Slow carb.
That's a method. Okay.
Yeah, we'll,
All right,
we'll call
so-
it a method.
I think we hit most of it.
All right, so those are the healthy, and again, show people this show. We need people to help us because there are so many of these healthy eating lifestyles.
I don't know about you, Hank, but I would like to lose a little bit of weight in 2018. I'd like to get more fit.
Me too. I'm at about 200, 205, and my fighting weight's about 185 roughly. So I could deal with 15 to 20. I could do what?
Wow, can we hit the? He's lying. He's not. He's lying.
No, I literally hover right in the 200 to 205 range. But I think she was laughing at the ideal fighting weight comment. She is laughing.
You're not a
I'd
fighter.
like to be about 185 or so. And,
Okay.
and when I watch these guys working,
I'm not gonna put my weight out there because
Yeah.
I don't
Well, and the point
share
is,
that.
we
But
can-
I'd like to lose some.
Now, well, I'll say it this way: when I initially put this all up, one of the first comments out of the gate was, "You cannot outrun a fork."
No.
What? Okay. You can't outrun a fork. I think it was a friend of show. It was Brett. Okay.
Okay.
And Brett changed his lifestyle, and he looks incredible now. I mean, he lost a bunch of pounds, and he reshaped his body and all that. I don't know what he's doing, but we'll find out from everybody. But the point is, guys, we need your help on all this because the next week's show, we're going to get into much greater detail on all this stuff.
That's
We're
our
gonna go-
entire show.
Yeah, well, that's the whole thing. This
Yeah.
is so big that we couldn't do it in just
We
one show.
need help.
All right. And then, of course, in addition to the places and healthy lifestyles are the methods. And Roddy, go ahead and give us the
so
methods.
we've got open road, free weights, coaches, beach body, fasting, dancing, skinny jeans.
Yeah. So
Oh my!
somebody
Well,
said-
wait. Let me get through the list. We'll talk about it.
Okay.
Sucker inners. That's another one we get to discuss. Fitbit trackers, body sculpting, yoga, Pilates, spin, Zumba, pole dancing.
I giggled.
Wow.
So fast.
HIT. I believe that's HIT.
It's HIIT.
Yeah,
Hold on.
HIIT.
Ask her. Kate. H.
High intensity interval training.
There you go. Say that.
High intensity interval training. Group training, strength training, personal training, functional fitness, fitness for older adults, and I'm going to add one, fitness for dummies.
Yep.
Because that's me. I fall into that category.
And then P90X.
P90X.
All right. So again, we'll get into all this in much greater detail next week. Open road is, for the folks that are just our runners. They're the ones that like to, just go run. And I've never been able to just do that.
I'm not a runner. No.
Yeah.
New.
Dawn, friend of
No.
show. She's like shout
Shout out to those who love to run.
Ron, if he's listening, one of our
That's the
one of our
Stillers.
Stillers, one of our
No,
Stillers
you're not
fans.
shouting out a Stillers fan.
He does the marathon every year now, so I
Alright.
will try and I'll go and I'll try and watch him run by and I'll wave and ding my bell and all that stuff. But those are that's what I mean by open road. Okay, those are the runners that just go run. And then free weights. A lot of folks are doing free weights. Adam. If he's out there from Mosaic, friend of show, he's a free weight guy, and he's done a wonderful job with his body this year, just working on free weights.
Yep.
I know Linda had mentioned that. She's friend of show too. She uses free weights.
Cool.
Then there's the people that have to have a coach, right?
Well, sometimes you need some support and a coach.
We know a lot of coaches. We know a lot of coaches online, and we're going to go into a few of those names for you. What I like is I know a bunch of singles coaches, and I know a bunch of couples coaches as well that work out together as couples, and they coach as couples.
Kind of fits everybody in the crowd there.
Yep. And that's where Beachbody comes in.
Yep.
Fasting, a lot of people will talk about. I believe it was one of the CrossFit trainers had mentioned intermittent fasting to establish your point of ketosis.
Yes.
And ketosis is where you go past your glycolysis cycle, where your body is no longer burning.
I'm going to need you to speak English.
It's where your body. I had to look this up and have them tell me. It's where your body goes past where you're using up the sugars
Thank
from
you.
what you've
Thank
eaten.
you for dumbing it down for
and
me.
then it
I
starts
appreciate it.
and it starts to burn fat and it uses the fat reserves. Okay, so
Cool.
that's the state of
Okay.
Only eat 8 hours in a day.
that's the
That's
state
it.
of intermittent fasting.
I
and
could
you
eat
achieve
for
ketosis, right?
24 hours a day.
Keto.
We'll
keto,
get into
we'll
keto.
get into it next week. All right. So and hopefully
Ooh.
we'll have some people call in to help us with that.
Yes,
Um,
please.
Then the dancing.
Yeah, let's
Well,
talk about a couple of these coming up
Well,
here.
dancing was friend to
You
show.
made this list.
Well,
and
yeah,
so
that's-
I honestly think you made this
No, I
list.
didn't. That was
So that I would read it and you could laugh at me. I honestly think that.
No, the dancing was the dancing was would you stop? Dancing was from
Oh, that's
Yoli.
great.
Dancing
Thank
was from Yoli. Yoli's friend to show. She's with the Acronist, right? And she's known all over Akron. But her whole thing is, if you're gonna work out, why not have fun doing it? So
Okay.
she goes to I don't want to say clubs, but she'll just go and show up at music places and just dance.
Cool. Hey.
You know, so and that's a good way to work out.
Everybody's got something.
The next two, right? Well, so
Yeah, skinny jeans, really?
skinny jeans and sucker inners. Okay, so
I
skinny.
can't even get one leg into skinny jeans.
Well, skinny
Let's be
jeans-
honest here.
Skinny jeans and sucker inners. A few of the ladies had sent a message to me, and it was in regards to if you haven't lost the weight yet, but you want to look good that day or that evening, then you buy.
Getting Spanx, not skinny jeans.
That's what a sucker inner is. Okay, it's Spanx.
You just wear a couple of them and you lose a couple inches.
The point is.
Wow.
The point is, Spanx.
I'm aware of
Right.
what Spanx are.
But you're not really. But you're not losing the weight per se. You're just shifting it, I guess would be the word.
Okay.
You're flattening it out and reportioning it.
Well, and that's what you redistribution of weight. And that is what but that's what this body sculpting concept is. And people had said that to me too, where you can use warm or cold body sculpting, which is I don't even know what you do. So we'll have to find out what that's all about, right? And what it costs.
Are you talking about fitness?
No, yeah, bodies. No, where they do the cold compress.
Yeah, the body sculpting.
But they say that it redistributes your body and then it stays that way. Is what my understanding is. Okay, so we'll have to look that all up, guys.
Hey, skinny jeans come in all sizes. You just shouldn't buy them in all sizes. I couldn't agree more.
That was from Mrs. Roddy.
Thanks. Thanks, babe.
All right, so then next door neighbor, I had forgot one. Yoga. I mean, yoga's a big deal.
Yoga's on the list.
And then there's what's it called where you hang from the ceiling and do the yoga where you're in like a hammock?
Hot yoga.
I know her.
What-
Isn't it hot
It's-
yoga?
Bent yoga.
What is that, guy? Help us out, guys. Where you're hanging from the ceiling on like you're swirling around and like, what is that? Okay, that's a big.
Studio in Wadsworth.
God, who? And again, they're all laughing at us. We don't know the name of it.
It's called bent yoga.
Bent yoga. Okay.
What?
So then we got Pilates.
Thank you.
Okay. Then we got Pilates and spin. We have a friend of ours that's a spin instructor out in California, and
Get bent.
I think spin is still a thing, or is it on its way out? How's
What?
spin doing?
Yeah, it's called bent yoga. It's still good, but a lot of it is coming out of the club and
Spin.
into the home because there's that.
Spin is leaving the club and coming into the home. The what?
Yeah, the
The who?
Peloton.
Okay.
The Peloton bike. You can do like a live.
Right.
You have like a live coach, and you pedal, and
Okay.
you can go do trails and.
And then right on the
stuff
heels
like
of that, as far as the dancing goes, is
Yep.
Zumba. Zumba's
Yep.
been around for a bit, right?
Yep.
A lot of people do Zumba. Okay.
Yep.
And then and again a new fad, a Versa Climber. The Versa Climbers, that's for the. Okay. Right. Okay.
Oh,
And then we've got you laughed, okay, but the pole dancing is a real thing.
I laughed because I'm juvenile. Let's be honest.
Well,
I know it's a
And
real
where-
thing, but
but where-
I'm juvenile, so I laughed. It's funny.
but where are these classes at?
In Fairlawn,
There's
I have 4
cl-
studios.
There's four studios of pole
in
dancing,
Fairlawn.
2 of them also do belly dancing.
belly dancing, and pole dancing. Well, my question is, how does that work at home? I mean, should you have
They give you average pole.
an at-home apparatus?
Whoa.
Well, where do you put that? Where should that go?
Wherever your heart
No, but where? Should it go in the living room?
Stop,
or
stop.
should it go?
Can
Should
we
it go
please go in a different direction?
Should
Please.
it go in the breezeway?
Yeah, do it. You know what? Put it on your front porch.
I would assume.
How about that?
I would assume that's I would assume that's
no, the lawn version. There you
there's
go.
a lawn version.
There
of
you
the
go,
pool.
Hank.
I would assume that's a leisure room apparatus.
So in the
Okay?
summer, can I imagine that you're going to put one out on your porch?
No.
No?
You don't involve me in this. All right. So then the high intensity interval training, we'll talk about that, right? Group training, again, that's where Orange Theory comes from, and that's the whole concept of you work out together and you push each other along with a coach, okay? The strength training, obviously high schools and colleges have adopted that everywhere. So everybody's got a strength and conditioning coach, right? Personal training, to my understanding, is where
Whoa.
What'd she say?
Sarah's the aerial yoga. That's the one with the.
What's it? That's aerial.
yoga.
Wow, there it is. Okay. So Mrs. Roddy brought it up. It's aerial
Thanks, babe.
yoga. That's the
Love
one
ya.
where they're hanging in the what I
Yeah.
call the little hammock. Okay.
Hey,
So,
hey.
yeah.
I just saw something pop up.
Oh,
on the
here we go.
screen.
The Cleveland Skeletons have
All
joined
right,
the
listen,
show. That's
listen,
fantastic.
skeleton. I'm talking to you for a second.
Go ahead.
Leave me alone. Stop sending me stuff.
Okay.
Leave me alone. You scare me. I have nightmares.
Just
about
so you
the
know,
skeleton.
Just so you know, Mr. Skeleton, this is the last week for the Browns flag. We're taking it down,
The
and
Browns
we're not
flag.
going to
See ya.
revisit it
Bye-bye.
until the draft. So there's
Need
that.
to give these old bones a good workout.
Well, and then then we got functional fitness.
Yep.
Functional fitness is hey, honey, let's go on a bike ride.
Yeah, or a good strenuous walk.
Well, and I forgot personal training. I got sidetracked because of the skeleton guy.
Skeleton.
Personal trainers, to my understanding, the majority will come in to your home and stuff, right? I mean, or they'll meet you at a gym, or they'll meet you places, right? Or they work at the gym. The point is, you develop that one-on-one relationship. What? What?
Take the flag down.
Take the flag down
No,
and bury it.
He didn't say. Oh yeah, he didn't say bury it.
Okay.
Oh wow.
All right. Well, we'll have a shallow grave ready for you next week. All right. So then, functional fitness is where you ride a bike. You say, "Hey, honey, let's go for a bike ride. Let's go for a hike. Let's go for a walk. Let's take the family." So, in other words, it's family time, but you're doing something actively.
Yeah, do
right?
something with family.
Okay. Then we got what?
Rock climbing.
Rock climbs. Okay, that's a classic example right there, right?
Okay.
That's Big P, right?
That's Big P.
That's Big P.
That's Big P.
Sorry.
Big P. Shout out to Big P. We miss you tonight, buddy.
I've been lectured by a bunch of yins that I'm not supposed to say last names anymore. Okay, so from now on we say first names only.
Yep.
To protect the innocent.
We have to protect the innocent.
All right, and then the last couple are fitness for older adults, which is more of a lighter weight, slower type stuff.
You need to tread.
Or in water.
Or in water. Tread lightly.
Okay. And then P90X and the seafood diet. Okay.
Yep.
So point being, folks, that is it. That is a boom, big list
Big
like
boom.
this, right?
Big boom.
Big boom,
Boom.
man.
Boom.
Boom.
Big boom.
There it is.
Yeah, there you go.
So we will dive into all that. Now, here's our deal. Ready? Please, if you are a coach, if you're a personal trainer, if you're a dietitian, if you're a nutritionist, if you own any one of these facilities, we need you to reach out to us. Go to our show page right now, and please send us a message. You can message us just like Facebook Messenger or anything along those lines, and send us your information. I will be contacting you between this week and next, and we will feature your pricing and your structure and what you offer. And we will try and help out the best we can to provide that kind of publicity for you all throughout 330. Okay, it's too big a topic for us to do on our own. So, and again, we're asking you to reach out. So right now, if you're just tuning in, or if you've already tuned in and are watching it after the live, then please make sure that you share this with folks that are involved in health and fitness, and we will do our best to help promote them and to help promote healthy living.
Did you touch on Fitbit trackers?
I did not. I skipped Fitbit.
I'm wearing a Fitbit.
Are you right now?
I actually. The technology of the Fitbit is incredible.
Well, and the thing about the Fitbit, right? I I hate having anything on my wrist. I feel like a bird that's been tagged.
I just feel like it's a watch.
So what I'm doing, I do it once or twice a year, and that's just on the opening and closing days
of game day because you do 30,000 steps.
I'll do it Saturday, and the thing is, we've added so many games. I'm thinking I'm probably going to hit at least 30,000.
I'm asking now for Saturday. Can we have a gurney present, please? People are. It's going to be a long
9
day.
9 p.m. Show up with a gurney.
Yep.
All right, so Jason, friend of show, I'll believe
Jason.
the only first names when I don't hear my see. I did it. And his wife was inadvertently one of the folks that was giving him the business about us saying last names. So we've already corrected ourselves. All right, so here we go with Act number 3, and that is all about college football. But before we do that, let's go ahead and take a drink.
Should we?
Yeah.
I think we should.
Let's just take
let's take a drink.
Let's take a sip.
I'm a little thirsty.
Of this water right here.
Yeah, this water right there.
We're going to take a sip of
cheers.
This water right here.
Take a peek at the water we're drinking right here.
Fresh bottled water. We're going to take a sip of this.
Yeah,
okay.
Well, cheers.
Cheers. Okay. Cheers to that. Okay. Little sip. Okay. Now we're going to put this water right back to make sure that you can see that it's water.
There you go.
All right, there we go. It's water.
Yeah.
Now, I'm not saying that we have a sponsor, but what I am saying is that we're very close to landing 1 or 2 or 3, and there's a good chance in the very near future that we will have some. So if you're interested, please contact us with your information, and we will be happy to display your products all around here.
We like
to discuss them.
We like things. We like to show them off.
We like to show things off. We like to discuss things. So again, if you're interested, our sponsorship packages we feel are very competitive and very reasonable. So please reach out to us. And I'm not saying that we're going to have a sponsor anytime soon, but what I am saying is there's a good chance that we're going to be giving away gift cards in the very near future
to a certain place
and having different contests as we do that. Yeah. So stay tuned for that. So here we go. The state of college football.
Hold on.
Yes.
I just got to get this out.
Go ahead.
Because they won last.
Who did? Who won?
Alabama.
Who won?
Alabama.
Tell us about Alabama, Roddy.
No, I don't want to tell you about Alabama.
Tell us all about Alabama.
I don't like Alabama. Well, Nick Saban, you may have won.
Saban is ruggedly handsome.
Nick, he's not handsome to me. That's all
Kate
right.
just said Nick Saban is ruggedly handsome. Now, she doesn't believe that, I don't think. I think she's quoting The Blind Side.
Nick Saban won his 6th national title. I will give you props.
You have to. You got to tip your
hat. He is now
right?
tied with the ever-famous Bear Bryant,
who's also from
Alabama.
So, I mean,
although Nick Saban won his first national title, where? LSU.
All right. So here's our disclaimer before we even say a word. As you can see, we are not impartial here.
No,
we are not impartial.
Not at all.
We are homers. Okay.
Nope.
So this is coming from the guise of being Buckeye fans. Buckeye fans.
Get it out.
Hairball.
Do you need a minute?
No.
Do you need a minute? Okay.
I need some more of this.
Yeah, you might want to drink some more of that water. Yeah.
All right, you start.
So obviously we'll start out with the Big Ten performance. Shout out to the Big Ten. Thank you for showing up for bowl season. All of the teams from the Big Ten.
I saw.
They're not even in the Big Ten. I've annexed them. They're now in the pit of misery, and they'll stay there.
I saw that Todd had tuned in earlier. I don't know if he's still watching, but basically the Big Ten finished their bowl season
6-1.
No, they were
7-1. Sorry, 7-1.
No, they were 7-M.
Yeah, 7-M.
They were 7-M.
Perfect.
Okay, they didn't lose a game.
Thank you,
they just had
Michigan,
they had a
not giving.
They had one forfeit. Okay,
you had one job, Michigan. You had one job to win the game. One. Jim Harbaugh, you need to go. Go. Like I said, pit of misery.
Go coach
dilly.
Go coach the Colts.
No, I don't want him even in the NFL.
Coach
Just
the Colts.
leave.
Go coach the Colts.
Go
the Bears are gone.
Coach a Division 6 school.
All right, so
horrible turn of events.
The point is the SEC, right, folks? So everybody says, okay, well, the bowl season doesn't matter. Okay,
yes,
well then why did it this year compared to last year in regards to They let all the schools into the big games this year based on last year's bowl season, right? And
I love bowl season.
they gave credence to the SEC when the SEC was not that good a conference, okay?
True.
Now, everybody's arguing, oh, Georgia and Alabama are the best 2 schools in the country, okay? Well, how do you even know
Who
that?
says?
Because both of them lost to 4-loss Auburn, okay? Both of them lost to 4-loss Auburn.
Oh wait, who beat Auburn? Oh well, wait. We'll touch. We'll go. We'll get to.
We'll
them.
talk about that
get to them
in a
in a minute.
All right. The point is, we all know now that college football is. I know my head. I'm sorry. I need to calm down.
I agree with you.
I'm calming down. All right. All right. I'll drink some more
Drink
water.
some more
But
water.
The
Take a
point
couple
is,
deep breaths.
we know that college football is a money-driven industry, and we know that it's completely hypocritical because they don't pay their players. We know all this, right? But
Which they should. But that's a whole nother
biggest
topic.
issue for me, and I caught a lot of flack for bringing this up on Facebook. Okay. The SEC network is owned by ESPN.
Sorry, I'm laughing because our buddy Dave, he likes Jim Harbaugh.
The SEC network is owned by ESPN.
Wait, what?
That is like
what
that's
did you
like
say?
that's like McDonald's owning Planet Fitness. Okay, it's like there's a complete.
Probably do.
They probably have some stake in them.
It's like you make them stop. It's like stop. I hear you, Kate. No,
Oh, we're not going to talk about
political
that.
jokes.
No,
Please.
we're not going to talk about that.
It's like you fatten them up and then you send them down the road to work out, and then you fatten them up and you send them down the road to work out. Okay,
Yeah.
it's a complete and total conflict of interest, and for the way that the ESPN network talks about the SEC and just slurps their pudding and Kool-Aid nonstop, it's gotten to the point of disgustingness, especially for those of us that are Big Ten fans, and we know that we have the best conference in the country.
Well,
Bar none,
we have the best team.
top to bottom,
Oh, wait.
we were the best conference in the country. And if you just watch the bowl games, and I was ripping out my.
I know.
That's why you see the little bald spots on both sides right here. I was ripping out.
I was going to ask if you got a trim or something.
No, I'm not
on the
trimming
hair.
for 3 months, right? Okay. Go ahead and do that paragraph.
Yeah,
on
so
page 3.
Yeah, I see it. With just 4 teams this year, we're stuck in a circular argument that would short circuit a computer and result in spinny clock.
Spinny clock.
Spinny clock.
Everybody knows spinny clock.
Everybody knows that dial. Yeah, you don't want the dial.
All right.
Both Alabama and Georgia lost to a 4-loss Auburn team. The SEC was not very good. In your words, they sucked in bowl games, and the Big Ten obviously went 7-0. You had Clemson, defending national champion. Who'd they lose to?
Syracuse.
Oklahoma, another Final Four team, lost to Iowa State. Ohio State did lose to Iowa. That was following an emotional win at Penn State.
On the road in the Big Ten.
And on the road in the Big Ten.
And I'm not an excuse maker, but
No,
yes,
they didn't
am.
show up in that game.
It
They
is
didn't show
hard
up
to
in that
win
game.
on the road in the Big Ten, no matter who the opponent is.
Correct.
And there's always teams that have your number.
Yep.
And in our case, it's usually Iowa and Purdue.
Yep.
And we can never win on the road when we're at Penn State. So for us to win on the road at Penn State and then to come back and go on the road to Iowa and then lose, I wasn't surprised at all.
No.
All right.
So here's my thought. Why can't we go to 8 teams? Because that's going to eliminate a lot of the arguments with, well, who was the 4th team? Was it Ohio State? Was it Alabama? Was it the University of Central Florida, who went 13-0 and beat Auburn in their bowl game? The same Auburn that beat who? Georgia and Alabama. And they get no respect. They got no respect. Hey, any team that goes undefeated in a college league, my hat's off to Central Florida and Scott Frost. You did a hell of a job going undefeated.
Moonman, can you hear when I sigh on air?
Sometimes.
Okay. I don't, folks, if I'm sighing a lot, I apologize, but it's exasperating to us, right? Because everybody knows that this needs to be an 18 playoff. Mike Leach, who I would never agree with on anything.
That's Washington State, right?
Crazy Mike Leach.
Yeah,
I would
that
never
guy.
agree with him on anything. And he's like, look at the high school playoff. Every team makes it. They whittle it down. And
Well,
you get
not
one
every
chance.
team makes it in
Just
high
about-
school. Just the teams that have like 2 losses.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Just And then look
Hold
at
on, I have to take a drink of water.
all right, and then you look at the pros.
getting
Mike
mad.
Leach said this repeatedly. Look at high school, how they handle their playoff. Look at
Can we get a towel on the forehead for
Can I get a
both of
towel?
us?
Can I get a
Both of
towel
us
over
are
here?
sweating over here.
look at the NFL, how they handle their playoff. Okay, look at the NFL, how they handle their playoff,
Yeah,
and then look at
high five.
college and how they handle their playoff. It's like incredible. It's like, are you kidding me?
It's we said it earlier. It's a money-driven
Hey,
industry.
friend of owner and Twinsburg box owner Scott has joined.
Hey, Scott. How are you, buddy?
Scott, we did a little bit on health and fitness, just on the locations and the nutrition and the methods. But next week we're going to dive into it full. So
Can we just refer to Scott?
Well,
as-
no, I would love if he would call in.
Well,
next
no.
week.
I want to refer to him. We can't call him Scott.
Okay,
I think we have to refer to him as the Beard.
he is the Beard.
I love it.
He is
Dude,
our
your
local
beard is
version of the Beard.
phenomenal. My hat's off.
Well, and he's the
His beard looks better than James Harden.
he's the vintage silverback. He's got the 2 silver stripes.
It
Right?
does exactly.
So point. I was on a rant. And
I know. I had to stop you.
You got to fix the playoff.
Yeah,
You got to fix the playoff. Okay?
Can we?
All right. So
It's not that hard. You put 8 teams. You go with the top 8 teams in the country. 1 loss, 2 loss, whatever. You put them in. You find neutral sites. You play these games.
there's never been a bigger case than this scenario this year.
Yeah.
You could have argued for 10 teams to be in that playoff this year.
Correct.
Okay. So
You could have. I'll go one better. You could have gone the top 15.
hashtag fix the system.
Fix the system.
I've been saying that for 2 weeks. Okay. So moving on now. So Ohio State is snubbed. Okay.
Yeah.
And they go
We
and
get
play,
stuck in-
they play USC, who is also snubbed.
In the Rose Bowl, but not the Rose Bowl
right.
game.
And they tear USC's mouth out.
Mhm.
And
Sam Darnold, right?
yeah, Sam Darnold.
Way to show up for that game.
Okay. Anybody Cleveland Brown people listening, please don't draft Darnold.
No,
Please don't
Please.
draft Darnold. Please
No.
don't draft Rosen.
No.
Please don't draft Rosen or Darnold.
no,
Please either draft Lamar Jackson
no.
or Josh Allen. One of those two. But please, if anybody can hear my voice anywhere in Northeast Ohio,
You know Hugh Jackson's
please
not listening.
don't draft Baker Mayfield. Please.
Okay. Hey,
He
stop.
is Johnny Manziel
Hey,
2.0. No.
hey.
This is
You
my
said
plea.
we're done talking about the Browns.
I know,
Done.
but please
Done.
don't draft Baker Mayfield.
Done.
And if there's any questions
Saquon
about whether or
Barkley.
not to draft Baker Mayfield, just go watch his DUI tape that is similar to Johnny's. And I'm not bad and being hard on the kid, but he shows the same red flags that Johnny did. Please don't draft Baker Mayfield. Okay. I'm
Can
calm.
we stop
All right.
talking about the Browns? We're done.
Tapping out. All right.
Tap out.
So let's have a moment of silence to recognize the wonderful collegiate career of one Mr. JT Barrett.
That's long enough.
That's plenty.
That's plenty.
Folks, JT Barrett, give it up to him. We're gonna
Hats off,
we're
dude.
gonna miss that Buckeye. He was fantastic. He broke every record in the book, but he was
I'll beg to. I think that we will see him
But
on a sideline.
he was quarterback for what, 8 years or so? Like that.
10. It seemed like every year it's JT Barrett.
It's like,
Every year.
Here's your quarterback, JT Barrett. All right, so. All right, so now moving in, we'll finish off with the cherry on top of this episode, and that's our championship game.
I
right?
will say that was one heck of a game.
It was a heck of a game, and
But Georgia,
well,
how do you lose that game?
well, hold on. For all the hype and for all the negative press that it got, and for all of us Big Ten fans giving it such a difficult time, and for all the national media, and for all the eight team playoff outcry, the SEC Super Championship ended up being a fantastic game.
It was a phenomenal game.
So,
How does Georgia lose?
well, and again, you got to remember, these are freshman quarterbacks, right?
but they were amazing freshman quarterbacks.
Well, and it's watching Fromm in the first half. I was like, we should wait 2 years and draft that guy.
Can he draft? Can he just declare
Can he
for the
just
draft
declare
after
now
the
and just
game? Yeah,
Maurice
he looked
Claret it?
really good.
Yeah, I know, right? So I just got friend of show Rob just tuned in, and he's
What's
saying
up,
the
Rob?
iron or flag.
Hey, Rob, the flag's disappearing as soon as the
Hey,
show
Kate,
ends.
we got a request to iron the flag.
Oh
I-
my!
No, wait, I'm not saying that you have to.
Oh,
I'm just
okay.
saying that I.
What?
Oh, my
Oh,
God!
whoa.
I don't know what just happened.
Oh,
You get
nothing.
nothing.
Thank
You
you.
lose.
The point is,
Good day, sir.
one of my favorite parts of the game was the kicking game within a game, right? And you got this kid Blankenship, right? He just was
Rodrigo Blankenship, yes,
awesome.
Kicker for Georgia.
I mean,
the goggles are my favorite.
Well, he reminded me of Ricky Vaughn glasses.
No,
right?
see, I got more of like the Horace or Harvey Grant. They wore the thick
Horace
goggles.
Grant.
Yeah,
but just
his brother Harvey wore them too.
But just the whole name, Blankenship.
Blankenship.
I mean, it's just an awesome name, right?
Yeah.
Against Papanstanos.
Alex Papastanos.
Papanstanos.
You had one job, Papastanos.
So you got Blankenship versus Papastanos, right? It's a game within the game. Kick the field goal, win the game, and it's over. And he shanks it left, and I called it. I'm sitting there. I'm at friend of the show. I'm at his house. I'm at Bob's house. He's the only Georgia guy I know, and he invited me over. So I'm like, I got to go watch it with a Georgia guy, right? And I could just, he had a Fitbit that monitored his blood pressure. And every time something would happen, I'd say, where you at? Where you at? He'd be like, I'm 86. We're good.
Oh, wow.
But I mean, the guy misses the kick, right? So the next thing you know, here we go into overtime. And this whole time we've been watching this kid. You want to try it?
Tua. That's all I'm giving you because I can't.
Tugo Vaialo,
freshman.
Tua Tagovailoa. Okay, yeah. He's Hawaiian. He's from Hawaii.
We're gonna nickname him the Flying Hawaiian.
He's from Hawaii.
Yeah, he played a phenomenal game.
How does Nick Saban find these people?
Because
he's from Hawaii.
Wait, Kate just said it. He's ruggedly handsome.
I don't think that's it.
Not what you have, it's how you use it.
Exactly. He can find talent.
The kid wants to go to USC his whole life growing up.
Yeah.
It's his dream school.
And
he wants to go to USC.
Yep.
And USC doesn't even take a look at him.
No.
So he ends up in Alabama.
But let me say this. I give a shot. I don't like Nick Saban. I give a shout out right now. You showed gigantic grapefruits to pull Jalen Hurts at halftime. Huevos. I'm going with grapefruits.
Huevos. Keep going.
You pulled Jalen Hurts at halftime, who has been your starting quarterback all year. He is struggling. He was not playing very well. And you pull this kid. I couldn't even pronounce his name. I laughed when they entered him in. I'm like, oh, well, Alabama's throwing in the towel. They're done. Georgia's going to win the game.
Google broke. Like at halftime, the first minute after halftime, Google broke.
Okay.
Like everybody's in their phones going, Tua what?
Yeah.
And we're all like, he's from Hawaii, he's this, that. And then, of course, the Alabama people know about him, right?
Yeah,
they're like, throw
Nick
Tua,
Saban
throw.
knew exactly what he was doing.
And I'm going, I mean, I couldn't believe it, right? So they're coming back.
That scramble will go down as one of the best plays I've ever seen.
Well, and Bob's starting to lose his cool a little bit. So I'm like, you know what? Maybe I'm bad luck. I'm wearing my Buckeye jersey here, so I'm going to go home. So at the between 3 and 4, I'm like, I'm just going to go home, and I'll watch the rest at home. And I'm like, there's no way that Alabama's come back to win this game. And then they tie it up. I get home. I walk in the door. I give Kate a smooch. I'm like, you've been watching the game? She's like, a little bit, whatever, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, well, Alabama's going to lose. Everything's cool. And she's like, it's good. Go Bucks, whatever. So we go downstairs. She's putting the baby to bed. I walk in. I hit the clicker. I flick it on. And they got the ball, and they're on like the 40-yard line driving. I'm like, you've got to be kidding me right now.
That's because Jake Fromm threw an interception, and
next thing you know, they're in the end zone. And next thing you know, Georgia then can't get the ball past midfield, and they're punting. Next thing you know, Alabama's on the 20, kicking for the game. I'm going, this can't be happening.
Yeah, it's
so they go into overtime, right?
I will say this: shout out to Blankenship. He drilled that field goal in
50
plus,
52 yards.
Now, folks in college,
and at that point,
that takes something.
At that point, Bulldog Nation is losing their mind, right? Because was it first down or second down?
First down, Tua gets
15-yard sack, so they're back at the 41-yard line. And
if you saw Nick Saban's reaction when that kid went down, you'd have thought he had given up. And
I thought it was like his cat had just been run over by a bus.
But then what does he do the very next play?
Very next play. And they've analyzed his play over and over again, and you could go back and watch it. It's one of those that – and here's the thing, right? The back-to-back years, we've had two of the most exciting championship games in the history of college football, okay? Now, mind you, this one was the SEC Super Championship, right? But at the end of the day, you give props to the kids because the kids performed under
They
pressure.
played phenomenally.
And
I mean,
throw that kid threw will live in infamy.
I will say one thing.
And it was a blown coverage.
One thing.
Yeah.
Where was the safety?
Well, we know it was a blown coverage. They were playing
Where
cover
was the
2.
safety?
They've analyzed the whole thing and talked about it repeatedly on ESPN. So we're
But
not
the
going to
defense on both sides of the ball. Georgia's defense was phenomenal. Alabama's defense, as it always is, has been phenomenal. Can we just draft some of the Georgia folks, some of the Alabama folks? We'll sprinkle in some Buckeyes and call it a defense?
That'd be fine by me.
Because
our defense is wait, we're done talking about the Browns. Stop.
That was my
Done with the
one
Browns.
poke.
Done
That
with
was
the
my
Browns.
one poke.
All right, folks, so that's it. We got to wrap this thing up, and we appreciate you guys tuning in again. And again, in summary, we covered the history of the Browns and the parade and how it's all tied together. We talked about health and fitness in the middle is like an Oreo cookie, so that was the creamy filling, right? And then we nibbled,
Yeah.
and then next week,
We nibbled.
Moonman's got his head in his hands. Next week, we'll get into the nitty gritty of all the health and fitness. And again, if you're just tuning in, or if you can share this, we'd like as many people to respond in, and we want as many people that are box owners or gym owners to try and help us out to navigate this topic. And then, of course, now we finish up with college football. And again, we are begging and pleading to have an 18 playoff. That's all we're asking.
But I will say this. We do have to shout out Nick Saban. He is now
He's
one
now
of
he,
the.
no. Don't say one of. Just say it.
I'm not giving.
He is the best. He is the best. He is the best coach in the history of college football. And here's why I'm going to say that. Why is he better than Bear Bryant? Because back then, Alabama kids went to Alabama. It was just a simple.
It was different then.
It was different then. It was Alabama kids went to
Saban's
Alabama.
won more
Georgia
titles
kids
in
went
a
to Georgia.
short amount of
Florida
time.
kids went to Florida. It was simple. There was recruiting, but it wasn't like what it is today. Okay.
Yeah.
So when you take basically what I consider to be college free agency and throw that in the equation, he's got to be considered the best college football coach of all time. So, and just say it. It's okay.
He's one of the greatest college.
No, we can't
football
draft him,
coach.
nor do we want him. We already had him. He was the Browns assistant, and him and Belichick wouldn't establish.
Can we
their own-
offer up like 3 first-round picks to get him? Oh, wait.
All right. We got to stop. We got to stop. We keep going. But at the end of the day, our plea is making an 8-team college.
8 teams.
College.
Not
playoff.
hard. 8
You include
teams.
all you got to do is include the power conference champions, and then have the 3 at-large bids as well. All right.
Yep.
So once again, folks, we've had a lot of time, a lot of fun spending some time with you here tonight. Please join us for our next episode next week as we present to you all our findings in relation to health and fitness topics. The list is extensive, so we're going to split the show into 3 separate categories as we did this evening. Places to go, nutrition,
and lifestyle management.
and methods of working out. But until then, I don't know where I'm going, but there ain't no sense in being late. Say goodnight, Shirley.
Good night, Shirley.
This podcast is a copyright of Moon Garden Media Limited.
Oh, this